this thing?
I don't know, but it doesn't look right.
Son? My boy? Can it be you?
Oh, fuck.
By all the gods. Father? It cannot be!
Do not look upon me. I am so sorry. Do not stay here. Take the crown and leave this place.
Oh, Father. But what have they done to you?
I surrendered. Lord Blackfrost told me that he was slain. That Marshal Winter's army had left no survivors at Bastion. I had not the strength to even raise my sword. And so he changed us, remade us, the other nobles and I, and all those who had taken refuge in the palace. He wanted me to witness our end, so that I would live without defeat and news of your death for eternity. But you are alive. You live. Your mother and I are so relieved to know you live.
Mother? But how can I release you from this curse?
My son, if you only knew how sorry we are. You cannot save us. We are condemned to this abomination. You must slay us. The others, the Queen, the Count, all of these people. I feel their suffering. Hear their screams within me. Put an end to it, I beg you. Free us that our souls may be with you.
Sire, I can take care of this, if you want me to.
For pity, my boy. Whatever you decide. Take the crown.
He could see that you were alive, and you put an end to his suffering. In every way, I think you did what was best.
I know. And I shall have the crown, and all that it represents. But I shall never wear it with dignity until I have reconquered my kingdom and slain this Ice Lord.
We have to get back to the camp before the Deadwalkers come for us. The death of one of the Liches is bound to have gotten their attention.
I will come soon. I must first perform a ritual to free my father's soul from this unholy carcass so that it may stay with me.
I'll wait outside. afford to wait for Arundel. Not in his condition. The Deadwalkers will be scouring the city to find who killed their Lich. We gotta get back to the camp fast.
We waste our time here. The fate of these people is sealed. The sole act that can defeat the necromancers is to take back the stolen energy of the World Heart.
I decide what has to be done, with or without your agreement.
Mercenary. The Sentinels in the other group were killed by Deadwalkers. And there's a group of undead on the road, stopping anyone from getting through.
I'll see what I can do. The mercenary salutes you, Knight. I have a few You mentioned the Order of the Ember Knights. What is that?
It is the order that the Knight belongs to. They are the surviving warriors and honored soldiers of other orders that were lost during this war.
Oh, so it's kind of the Order of the Orphan Knights.
This name does not sound well to his ears.
Right. So you haven't always been an Ember Knight?
No. He was first a defender of the Algander Islands. Then he was a Templar of the Order of Burgeons, and then a Brother of the Rock, and then a Summer Tracker.
So all of those orders have been lost. That must have been hard.
He has lost many valorous companions in battle, and his heart is heavy with scars.
I'll bet. So what is the creed of the Ember Knights?
The Knight has long searched for the answer. Now he knows it. To seek a glorious death and carry as many enemies as possible away with him.
That's kind of depressing. If you follow me, we should be able to find a chance for you to get your beautiful death. Just try not to commit suicide at the first available opportunity.
The Knight will wait for this moment.
You're not from around here. Where do you come from?
The Knight was born in the Algander Islands. It is a proud and savage place where the struggle against the wind and vicious neighbors makes a man strong. The Ice Lords attacked the islands more than 15 years ago, long before the rest of Vertiel knew that the world was now at war. The clans were always fighting, but they fought together as brothers when the islands were threatened. And as a defender of Algander, the Knight had the honor to be one of the first to fight. And with his brothers for a long time, he repulsed the invader. Some of the clan chiefs wanted to make peace with the Ice Lords, but the Ice Lords betrayed them, and the clans were decimated. Their numbers were sorely missed during the following battles, and in a few short months, the war was almost lost. The Knight was sent by the surviving clan chiefs to the mainland to find allies. But time is a cruel master. When he returned to his homeland, the islands were buried beneath the ice.
So how did you end up in the village of Valvanor?
When he saw that all his kin were slain, the Knight was hungry for revenge, and sought out battles to bathe his pain in blood. But in every battle, he lost more of his brothers in arms, and faced an enemy that only grew stronger. The orders were always hazardous, with betrayals common and errors never-ending. Faced with these eternal difficulties and death, always more death, the knight lost his hope, and so he left the field of battle. He decided instead to take care of the war's victims, to protect them, even though he knew it could only last a short time. It is a final mission without any other hope but to give comfort and relief to a few innocent souls.
What do you think of the Red Scribes?
Their studies have made them blind. Only knowledge interests them. They show contempt for all else. Today they have the ear of the last surviving warriors. They do not deserve this honor, and their words are hollow.
The elves took a hell of a beating, huh?
Defeat is commonplace when treachery lurks nearby. The Ice Lords used trickery and magic. The elves had no chance. This was a battle without honor.
That may be, but they beat us. Now we only have the scattered remains of what was probably the most powerful army anyone has seen in an age. Doesn't it seem a little hopeless?
This whole war is without hope. But since the knight and his companion are here, they might as well fight until the bitter end.
So what did you abandon when you entered into the Order of the Ember Knights?
The knight has already said he does not wish to speak of this.
This could be the last chance you get to talk about it.
It is true that tomorrows are becoming less likely. But the abandonment of the past means the forgetting of it. And it is often painful to dig through memories.
That's what you claim, but I can tell you're dying to talk about it.
Very well. Know then that the knight once had a family.
I suppose they must be dead. I'm sorry for your loss.
It was long ago. 15 years have passed since his wife and his 2 daughters were taken from him.
The Deadwalker army?
Yes. They were among the first victims when the Ice Lords attacked the Algander Islands. They were thought to be safe with the other women, far behind the front lines. But the Deadwalkers broke through our lines and stole away the innocents. The knight searched the enemy lines for days, but when he found them, he had to fight what the sorcerers had created from his wife and his children. A dread creature, multiple and monstrous. This was the most difficult fight of all his life.
Let's change the... Let's... I'll... The mercenary... Ranville.
The knight is...
Hello, Vulcan.
Let me see what... The mercenaries... I have... Let's... Edwin,
What can I do?
I would like to... Thank...
What is it?
I wanted to... Let's change... I have to go. Sybil,
Yes?
I'd like to...
What do you want to know?
I've been thinking about... I found a building that must be the library you were talking about. I think we should go there together. Shall we go?
It would be my...
They attacked the wrong person. How dare they condemn our king to such a macabre fate? My father. It's time for us to repay the Deadwalkers in kind. I want to see them destroyed, so not a single one of those dead ever dare set foot in our streets again. We're going to launch a massive assault to take back our city. It is time to turn the tide of this war. Vulcan, we will need you and your extraordinary abilities. We have to send a small group to open the city gates. I'm counting on you. I know that you can be stealthy and incredibly effective. A few soldiers will be going with you. This is our best chance. Black Frost doesn't seem to be here anymore, and most of his forces went with him. But before we launch the assault, we need to strengthen our army. I've been told there are prisoners in the city. If we free those soldiers, we can add them to our ranks. We're also going to need to get our equipment in as good shape as possible. We're fortunate that our smith has survived. Let us hope he'll be able to provide us with everything we need. But it's better to make sure.
Thou knowest that Black Frost's palace will take us to the world heart. Yet still thou dost waste thy time in vain battles. Thy stupidity knows no bounds.
Vulcan, I need your help.
What, sorting books? Observing swamp critters? You don't think I have better stuff to do right now?
That's not fair. I'm not stupid. I understand that what is most important now is the fight, and our soldiers...
The Freeborn Blades will do just fine. Don't you worry about that.
Not them, the other human soldiers.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure we can count on them. They've already lost the war. They're only staying here because the elves are protecting them. But they've got no fight left in them. They have to believe they can win. They have to fight alongside the elves and the Freeborn Blades. I've tried talking with them, but they treat me like a child. Maybe they would listen if you would talk to them.
Me? Most regular soldiers don't have time for mercenaries.
They just need to get their spirit back, boost their morale. I'm sure you could find some words to help them.
Vulcan, come here. I need to talk to you about something. While you were in the city, the Deadwalkers apparently began stirring. Several scouts have disappeared without a trace. They can't just have been ambushed by chance. Someone must have given their roots to our enemies. I'm afraid we have a traitor among us. Though if that's the case, I don't understand why we haven't been attacked by the Deadwalkers yet. What's really troubling is that these disappearances pretty much correspond to your arrival here, which means that your living dead friend is the prime suspect. Even if it's just as possible that it's one of the Red Scribes, or even one of your people.
And why can't it be one of your people?
Why would he do that? And above all, why would he wait until now to betray us?
Who knows what goes on in a traitor's head? Maybe he thought that everything was played out and my presence here made him change his mind. After all, until we got here, you weren't doing much. But now things have started to move, and the outcome of the combat has become less certain.
You're extremely presumptuous. If what you say is true, this traitor actually waited to see if you were really capable of reversing the situation. Fine, for the sake of argument. Will you help us carry out this investigation? Yes or no?
I'll see what I can do. But if it turns out the traitor is one of your people, you better do what you have to.